Seems like a lot. Now it's starting to look like a lot. It sounds like a lot of work. I don't know.
You're so
I just want
grumpy.
I just wanted to come in and just blew conspiracy theory. Now you want me to do a PowerPoint presentation and
Watch a nap.
We should not be making any decisions with Mauricio right now. He is so grumpy.
No, none.
God.
Let's get on with it. Fuck.
So wait, is it that he doesn't feel well, or that this is the first episode he's not drinking? So like every other episode he's just been drunk and he's been fun, and now
No, the problem is he's sobered up after yesterday and now he's hungover.
I'm not hungover. I'm dehydrated, and I have like acid reflux and shit. Let's go.
Did you say reflex?
Yeah.
Flex.
The reflex is
Flex.
Welcome to Drunk Real Estate. Grab a drink and enjoy the show.
Hey there, and welcome to episode 8 of Drunk Real Estate. I am Kyle Wilson, also known as Ashley Wilson Husband, and I once again am joined with my besties in the world, starting with Mr. Jay Scott. How's it going, Jay?
Am I your best bestie? Is that why you're starting with me?
I don't know about that.
How come Jay always goes first? I don't understand. Like, it's always Jay gets introduced first.
No, that's the template. We have to stay on script. Once we veer off script, all hell breaks loose.
Oh, Jesus. All right, get on with it.
He is grumpy tonight.
I know, he's so grumpy. Yeah. Jay, what are you drinking?
I went a little different this week. I'm going with the Prosecco.
Ooh.
So I'm doing something a little bit sweeter after a couple of weeks of not drinking any sugar or carbs. I'm going with the Prosecco this week.
You celebrating your 88-hour fast?
Hey, I did. I got 88 hours last week. It was pretty cool.
That's nuts. I can't believe you did that. Mauricio, next up. Or do you want me to go to AJ first and you could be last?
Do whatever you want.
Mauricio, how you doing?
I'm grumpy. Dude, they stole my Jeep. I stole my Jeep last week, so I'm very upset about that. And I'm a little dehydrated today, so I'm not drinking. I'm drinking the 2013 San Pellegrino Momenti Clementine and Peach. Delicious.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it. All right, AJ, how's it going, man, over there?
You know, I'm doing good. There was a lot of excitement about my drink last week, so I decided to do another Monster Zero.
The Ultra, love it.
That's right.
Are you going to fill in everybody as to why you just up and left in the middle of the episode last week?
Yeah. So, we're going along, and I think it was Mauricio was just a little long-winded. So, after a while, I was like, man, I got crap to do. So I'd already had some previous engagements, and we went for a long time. It was like an hour and a half or something, and I kind of got caught. I did not do good time management. So I tried to do it with tact, but I just
failed miserably.
Just walked out. Straight up walked out. I'm like, see you guys, I'm out.
You did wave, and I'm like, where's he going? Like to the bathroom? Like what's like he's got to go? Like, and then he just never came back.
I had people texting me like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, I gotta go.
I didn't even notice you were gone.
It's okay. One of AJ's assistants probably got fired over that. Okay.
Kyle, what are you drinking?
Oh, that's true. I actually this is a cleanup day for me. So I have a little bit left of my Bookers, so I'm going to finish that off, and then I have a little bit left of my Cave Hill Rabbit Hole too. So I'm going to just finish them all off, so I could buy some new bottles. So I can give you some new stuff.
Nice.
As your guys' designated driver, I think that this November, you guys should do No Drink November. And that month, you guys got to sober up with me on the podcast.
I've never heard of No Drink November.
Wait. Are we also for a month? Do we change the name of the podcast for another month to like the Sober Real Estate Show or something?
I'll give it up for a month, but you need to drink 1 week.
Okay, that's going to be a problem.
All right. Well, we have a bit of a different episode this week. We are going with our predictions episode. Jay's actually pretty big on doing predictions twice a year. Our podcast started after January, so we missed the January predictions, but this is the mid-year predictions. So we're going to hit some economic stuff. We're going to hit some real estate stuff. Maybe sneak in some other fun things, political, who knows? We'll see how much time we have. So starting off, what everybody wants to know about is recession. Predictions for when the recession is going to happen, if it is going to happen. Is it going to happen the end of this year? Is it going to happen next year? Or we got a soft landing? So let's start off with, since Mauricio is complaining, let's go with you first, Mauricio. What are you thinking?
Is this prediction to the end of the year or for the whole year? Did we figure that out?
For the most part, let's do till the end of the year. But if you want to say the recession's coming next year, that could be yours.
So here's my prediction, and we have 7 minutes each. Is that what it works? So here's my thing. I do think the recession is a clear recession is coming. I hate doing the timing thing, and so a lot of these predictions will depend on when this recession hits. I'm going to go with the prediction, though. I think the recession is going to hit in the fourth quarter, somewhere between September and October of this year. But it's going to be clear. There's going to be no doubt about it. The question is going to be, is it a severe recession like a 07, 08 or worse? Or is it just like one of these, like 2 quarters of negative GDP, barely barely feel it, move on? I think it's going to be a big one. And I think you're going to start seeing it sometime in the fourth quarter. I'm going to throw out there September. For some reason, September and March are the two. It has something to do with the end of the quarter and stuff. It usually, you know what?
It's not that far away, man. We're end of July here. That's like
I understand. I said it's Q4. We're in Q3, so we're talking Q4. Is my prediction? That's my prediction.
Wow, bold. AJ, you want to follow that up?
Yeah, I think we will have a recession, but I think it'll be so mild it'll be debated. And I think that the recession will cue in the change in Fed policy. So I think the Fed will be brought on by the lifting of rates. So they're going to lift rates, and then we'll have a mild recession that will be, I think, more like a very sluggish stagflation, and that everybody feels and people just tighten up. And then I think we will slowly recover. I don't think it'll be anything major, which might even be worse because it could last longer. So
fair enough. Jay, you following suit?
Can I just say ditto to AJ? Yeah, I agree. I originally at the beginning of this year on our last podcast that we did together, I predicted a Q2 or a Q3 recession. I think obviously we didn't hit Q2. It's not looking like we're going to hit Q3, but I still think that the Fed is overcorrected. I think it's going to catch up with them probably sooner rather than later. So I'm thinking Q4, Q1. Like AJ, I don't think it's going to be a huge recession. I think we're going to see unemployment tick up. I don't think we're going to see negative quarters of GDP. I mean, I'll probably regret saying that. But I think it's going to be a relatively soft landing. But it could be a prolonged stagnated economy. I think we could have a couple years of things just slow down. It's not really a big recession, but it doesn't get better for a while.
I'm in kind of the same boat as you guys. I think it is going to be late Q4, but we're not going to obviously figure that out till Q1. And I think it's going to be holidays that does it. I think we have a lot of consumer debt building up right now. People are maxing out their credit cards. Student loans are about to hit again. People are going to have to start paying that. They're going to get to the holidays and they're going to figure out, oh shit, I have no money to buy Christmas gifts. All of these businesses that are relying on their holiday purchases, they're going to see a very down purchasing season. And then we're going to get into Q1. Everyone's going to report their earnings and everyone's going to panic and we're going to see a correction in the stock market. So that's where I'm calling for the recession. So it sounds like a pretty good consensus, Q4, Q1. I also think it will be mild. If that's
by the way, don't forget that the holiday. So I like your analysis there, but the holiday season starts like my wife's already starting to buy stuff for Christmas. I mean, it's the holiday starts like in September, October, so they'll know by then. People start freaking out by then.
Yeah, Black Friday. You're right. Black Friday Black Friday sales could be just a panic if
Right.
they're really low, and people would be
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, what's going on?"
'Cause
But
I do think it's corporate. I know we're spending a little bit longer than this one. But I do think it's going to be corporate. I do think it's I think the lag effect of the increase in interest rates. I mean, it's just going to crush businesses. It's already crushing our industry and businesses in terms of commercial real estate. It's going to start hitting the companies, and once that starts to happen, that's when I do think you're going to see a nice little big fat stock market correction, which I know is coming up. So I'll shut up.
Okay, so Mauricio's the outlier on this one. I'm taking notes. I'm writing down
Yeah, it's
predictions
gonna be awesome. It's going to be great to do the show in December and be like,
Did anything even happen?
all right. Well, at that time, the question will be: do we think inflation will be under control by that Q4 time? By the end of the year, what do we think our inflation number will be? I'll call back at Jay. I'll do the snake order here.
So again, going back to my beginning of the year prediction, I was somewhere I think between 2.5% and 3.5%. I think we're going to be at 2.5% by next month for the annual trailing 12 inflation number, and I think it only goes down from there. So I think by the end of this year, I'm going to stick with my original ballpark of 2.5% to 3.5%, but I'm going to go on the low side. I'm going to say 2.5% for all of 2023.
AJ, what do you got?
I think we could drop down to 2.5, but I don't think it'll stay there. I think that we will have another month at 3+. And then from there, I think it'll still stay above 2.5% until the very end of the year. And I think that's going to take the Fed's actions to really erode that away a little more. But I think by the end of the year, we will absolutely be in their target range.
Okay, Mauricio, you feeling the same?
I'm going to agree on that one. I did my prediction show. I was going to say disinflation down to. I don't think I went all the way down like 2 or 3. I think I was saying 4 or 5. But I agree. We're probably going to be in the 3% range. I mean, remember all this inflation happened because we actually did drop helicopter money during COVID. I mean, we had all this money that actually made it into the real economy. It wasn't financial assets. It was actually in the people's bank accounts. People spending money. That caused part of that inflation. The supply chain, that whole thing also that's all gone now. We don't have any stimmy checks coming, at least not as of right now. That could change, right? If suddenly they pass a CARES Act 2.0 and there's stimmy checks again, then I'll change my opinion. But right now, if everything continues without some major CARES 2.0, there's no reason why, inflation doesn't get back to the, 2 to 3 range. So I agree.
And a lot of that money got rolled up to the wealthy who've stuck it in assets, locked that money up. And so if we see asset prices drop like we have in let's say commercial real estate, if we see the stock market drop, if we see other asset prices drop, that money kind of disappears into thin air to some degree.
Well, I think we're already seeing one of the big things that you got to realize with the real estate market is it's a big lever on that velocity of money. And that velocity of money is just, it's seizing up. You have private equity that's not rolling out capital. They need cash flow from their companies. They're either closing them up or they're refocusing their allocations and holding in cash. Real estate, fundraising for real estate has just fallen off a cliff because people aren't releasing capital. Deal transactions down. It's, there's just a lot of freezing on capital. It's sitting there on the sides. It's not going away. It's not like it's the Great Recession where we're restructuring. It's just not moving. It's either still in the assets or it's in bank accounts. Whereas, 8 months ago, it was moving. People were buying, selling, things were happening. They were exiting stocks. There was a lot going on, and we've now seen a little while of that freeze, and it's freezing up even more. And I think then that has a huge effect on overall people's sentiment on big expenditures, right? And so I think that overall freezing just is making everybody stop.
All right. Well, I guess I have to, if you guys are all going to say the exact same thing, I'm going to have to dissent a little bit. And I'm going to take the under on you guys. I think if you're assuming that it takes, 12, 18 months for these rate hikes to make their way through the economy, that we might be hitting those 0.75 rate hikes right around Q4 once again. And that might be tanking inflation down under that 2% mark. So I'll take the under on you guys.
Which is consistent with what you said at the beginning of the year. So credit for being consistent.
Well, it's I didn't even know that. So credit where credit's due, I guess. All right. Next, along the same lines, do we think that's going to reflect unemployment numbers? What do we think unemployment's going to be at by December?
4.5%.
4.5. And what is it right now? 3.7?
3.6.
AJ?
Oh, this was hard. I don't want to just repeat Jay. So now I'm like, well, that was my answer. Now I got to rethink it here. So I don't think we're going to quite get as high as 4.5. But I think we will hit 4 or over.
Mauricio, same thing?
Well, no, because I got to go higher than you guys. So this all goes back to timing, right? So I mean, depending on when the recession hits, I think that's one of the reasons you're going to see unemployment really shoot up. The exact number, I don't know, but it'll be more like 7 or 8% plus. Does that happen by the end of the year? Again, it just depends on when the recession happens. But when the recession happens, unemployment's going to go high, like a general recession, and that's what's going to cause a lot of the issues, including housing, by the way. But yeah, I'm going to say, I'm just going to throw out 8. I mean, who knows? But it's going to be.
Weren't you the one that was saying we had to like set end of the year as this imaginary target?
That's my point. That was my whole point with this end of the year, because I'm stuck with this. I'm calling a recession, but if the recession suddenly happens in January, February, then all of this moves over to January, February, obviously.
Well, that's the risk you got to take.
That's right. I got to take the risk. I'm going with it. I'm saying 8% by the end of the year.
Okay. Wow.
There we go. I'll go the other way. If you look historically, the unemployment rate hasn't significantly risen until after the Fed has already started cutting rates. So I don't think that's happening until the new year. So I think we might get to that 4, but I think we might also be still sub 4 by December. So I'll take the under on that one.
And to put this into perspective, outside the year of COVID, you have to go back to prior to 2000, before 2015 to even get to 5+%. So that's 8% is you are at 8%. You're like,
well, it's such a lagging indicator too. Like it's like the last shoe to drop.
Yeah, but you're also, you just eliminated you eliminated the last semi-recession during COVID. So we've had 15 years. I mean, the last recession was 08, 09. So obviously for the last recession, you have to look what happened in 08, 09. I'm looking at right here. I mean, it went from 4.5% all the way to 10% in a matter of it took about a year or so. But yeah, and I don't know what the one before that was, but if you look at the 2000 recession, but yeah, I mean we had a good run, man. We've had a good 15 years, So obviously in the last 15 years, you're going to see a lot of things that are low.
We had a good run. I feel like that.
We had a good run.
back when I was a kid.
We had a really good run.
I feel like we're walking off into the sunset. Oh, it was a good run. All right. Well, you guys are predicting that the inflation is going to be pretty close to the Fed's target. So where do we think the Fed funds rate is going to be then in December? What are they going to have it pegged at?
I hate this one because up until 20 minutes ago, I refused to acknowledge that we're going to have a rate hike tomorrow, the day that this comes out. I've been trying to
99.2 is convincing you.
Well, it's like 99.2. The other 0.8 isn't even no hike. The other 0.8 is a half point. There's a 0% chance factored in by the market for no hike. And I haven't wanted to believe it because
I wonder if you could bet on that. Can you bet on there will be no hike? Because like the odds would be astronomical on that.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I'm sure you could bet treasuries. I mean, you put a lot of money on treasuries. If there's no hike tomorrow, what do you think the market's going to do? The market's going through the roof. So I can't. I mean, I said this last time that I didn't think there'd be another hike tomorrow or today when this comes out, and it looks like there's going to be. But I'm going to say that there's not going to be another one. So I think what is it, 5.5? I think we're going to be at 5.5. The only question is, do they start cutting before the end of the year? And I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's going to happen next year. So I'm going to say 5.5.
AJ,
the guidance on it, I think. Because the effective fund rate currently is
5.25.
Yeah, 5.25. So I think they'll raise it another quarter, just like they did prior. And
They'll be done. So you're the same as Jay.
yeah, I think a quarter and they're done.
Okay, Mauricio.
So this might be my thesis is that the Fed is going to be forced to pivot, right? If it was up to them and nothing happened between now and December or whatever, they're going to, they'll probably raise one more time or do whatever they want to do, one more quarter, one more half, and then stop.
They said last time that they were going to raise 2 more times before the end of 2023.
If everything was fine, is nothing to see here, then that's what they're going to do. And at the end of the year, you'll be at 5.5 or 5.75, whatever the number is. But my thesis is something's going to break. Something major is going to happen. And when that happens, the Fed's going to do what it's supposed to do, which is going to make a major pivot and it's going to cut. I almost want to say, just to kind of throw it out there, maybe it's zero because I don't have to cut and just reverse like they did in 2018. So anyway, I don't have to go that crazy because you guys are so pie in the sky. So I'll just say it's down to 2% because I do think there's an event that's going to force them to pivot. Which is what the market's, by the way, that's what the market is predicting as well, the bond market. Although I think, to your point, Kyle, I think they're predicting that close in Q1 of next year. So again, it all has to do with when this event happens, and I'm calling Q4 on it in September, October. But when that happens, the Fed's going to pivot, and they're going to be forced to bring it down. They're not going to want to. They're going to be forced to. That's my base case.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my thesis that I agree with you, but it's not happened until the beginning of next year, and the Fed is notorious for acting late and failing to see the signs. So I think they're going to, just because they hate to rock the boat unless they have to, they're going to stick to the script. They're going to raise they're going to raise tomorrow. They're going to wait a couple months this time. They're going to raise again. And we're going to be at 575 at the end of the year. And then we're going to get all the economic data and the economy is going to plummet. And that's when their pivot's going to happen. They're going to drop it like Mauricio says. So I guess I'm taking the over on you guys. I think it's going to be higher at the end of the year. Okay. Should we move on to some real estate stuff?
No. You can't just say it's going to be higher. Pick a number.
I did 575.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're going to do 2 hikes, like they said, because they love to just do exactly what they say, and so the market doesn't react one way or the other. Well,
which puts it at above 2006.
Yeah, they don't look at that. They don't care.
Well, anything past this point is above 2006.
Okay, so what do we think? How do we think this is going to affect home values December this year, where a home value is going to be compared to where they are right now? Let's start with Mauricio this time.
I mean, I think nominal prices will continue. You talk about single family, right? We're talking about medium home price.
Yeah, we'll talk about single family.
Yeah. I am going with it's in nominal terms, it's going to continue to go down. I think it's slightly down, depending. Obviously, real estate's localized, but in many of the major places, it's down. I think it's going to continue to go down. And lost my train of thought. Sorry. I thought the cops were coming to get me. I'm like, fuck, what are they doing here? It's going to continue. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. And then in real terms, even more, right? Because you've got inflation that's coming up. And then so in real terms, it's dropping even further. Look, if what I think is going to happen happens in Q4, unemployment's going to go through the roof. You're going to see a supply of homes hitting the market and the supply and demand. I know last week we talked about maybe it won't be enough or it'll be a little bit of an effect, but not as much an effect as I think. But I think it will definitely have an effect and we'll continue to see lower single family home prices.
AJ?
I think it's going to be very regional. I think you're going to have areas where prices will rise. I think areas where prices will decrease slightly, but I think we're going to end up at like 8%. And I think the winter season, we will see the normal, right, seasonal effect on housing prices. So we will see housing prices soften and go down during the winter, but I believe that will be more due to seasonality and that kind of that natural occurring thing. And then
what was your 8%? What did that mean?
Mortgage rate.
Oh, mortgage rate. Got it.
Yeah. So I think that will slow down, but at the same time, it's not a big enough move. So if you're sitting there going, 7.8, I'm a buyer. At 8, I'm not. Like, we're not. Those buyers that were, I think, more sensitive to that and everything, they're already gone. They're not buying, right? That was at 3 to 7.5. So I think that the effect on housing prices, I think, will be over-exaggerated by media due to seasonality. that they naturally see a pullback, and people will say, oh, this is because of the new rates, everything. But then if you look over a 12-month period, it will be normalized. And I think the reduction in housing prices will be, if any, very, very mild.
Can I, before you go, Kyle, on your thing, quick, this is a question for you guys, since you're more in the market than I am. But if I know you guys don't agree with me, but if the Fed were forced to pivot, right, in the fourth quarter or whatever it happens, and the Fed funds rate does collapse down to 2 or 0, how quickly do you think mortgage rate? First of all, I assume you think mortgage rates will come down somewhat, although they're not tied to the Fed's fund rates directly. It's more the 10-year and some other stuff. But how quickly do you see an adjustment in mortgage rates if that were to play out?
Well, how far are you predicting that the Fed pivots?
Let's just say no. Let's say I'm stuck here till the end of the year. So let's just say in October, November, the Fed has to pivot. Something happens, some black swan or whatever you want to call it happens. They've got to pivot and just start slashing rates. They get down to, let's just say, 2%. How quickly does the mortgage market usually move when something like that happens? So, I mean, again, I guess I can go back and look at 2018 or 2007, like when they suddenly pivot, what happens to mortgage rates in that environment?
I mean, the treasuries will plummet too, right? So that's kind of what it's based off of. So the 10-year will, if they go from 5.5 down to 2, then the 10-year won't go down that much, but it will go down significantly down to, it'll be sub 3 for sure, probably 2.5. So that's the dip that you'll see is at least a
So then you're seeing mortgage
off.
rates at like 5% or something, you think?
Yeah.
4 to 5, yeah.
So is that your new prediction?
No, I'm just trying to, that's my, anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, we can do that next. We'll do mortgage rates next.
Yeah.
Jay, finish this off here.
So Case-Shiller data for May. So Case-Shiller is always a month or two behind. I guess it takes a while to compile that data, but Case-Shiller data for May came out today, and we saw a 1.2% increase in prices in May, which was continuing the trend of prices up since February, hit a low in February. And so I don't think we're going to see a retraction. I don't think prices are going down. I think there's enough pent-up demand out there that even if unemployment creeps up, which I think it might, even if supply creeps up, which I think it might, I think that we're still going to see there's still enough demand out there to keep prices nationally pretty low or pretty high. And so I'm going to say we're going to be right where we are. That May number, that Case-Shiller May number of, what was it? 301. I like that. So let's say 300 on the Case-Shiller. Basically, we're going to be where we were a month or two ago.
Let's because when we go back and look at this, I mean, that maybe doesn't matter too much, but I mean, I'm looking at the question was the median home value. So I'm assuming we're taking that. I know everything's regionalized, but I'm talking the median national home value, which is like $300 and something thousand a home. That's the number I'm looking at, whether that's going to be going up or down.
Yeah.
Some people just like to use Case-Shiller, but because they think it's a better indicator. I agree with Jay. Actually, I also think housing is another lagging indicator. I agree with AJ as well that seasonality is going to hit housing, but I think that's going to lead to more or less days on market necessarily than price corrections immediately. But then that days on market eventually leads to price corrections, and we'll see that in Q1 once again. And that's when it's going to be one of the things that leads to our recession in Q1. So I'm sticking with Jay's prediction, and that we're not going to see. It's going to be pretty flat from now until then. Supply and demand are going to stick.
So Kyle, it sounds like you and I are on the same page. We're just shifting over on the graph. It's like you're over a quarter and a half further down the line.
Yep, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So, well, we brought it up there. Why don't we talk about mortgage rates? Where do we think mortgage rates will be there at the end of the year? So it sounds like, Mauricio, you think they're going to be around 5.
Yeah, I mean, my prediction was Fed funds rate was going to be like 2.5, which means the 10-year will be down a little bit. Although if you look at the 10-year, it doesn't quite correlate that well these days with Fed. Actually, if you look at the historical data, it doesn't really correlate that well anyway with Fed funds rate. But what are we at now? Like 3.9. I'm looking at it. We peaked at 4.2 back in October. So since October, we've been hiking and we've been going down on the 10-year. But yeah, so if the 10-year gets down to like sub 3, so yeah, we're looking like 4 or 5% mortgage rates when that happens, when that pivot happens.
Jay?
That's pretty bold. I've been saying since the beginning of the year that we'll be around, but maybe just below 6% at the end of the year. And I'm gonna stick with that. So let's say just below or right around 6%.
What are we assuming that the average is right now? Like
For the
6.8
30-year,
kind of thing?
yes, close to 7. It might even be over 7 right now.
Yeah, it's 7.8.
Okay.
7.6 is what I'm seeing.
Okay, I didn't realize it was that high.
I'm pulling from the 20th on the Fred economic data, and it says the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 6.78. So that's, 5 days ago. But
I'm looking at Safari. That's my source.
Siri, what's the average mortgage rate right now? All right, AJ, I didn't get you right.
Nope. I guess so. It really depends here on, where we're looking. 30-year fixed rate. If we say, okay, it's at on average, what are we calling it there?
6.78.
I think we'll be at 7.
Yeah, there's some data that says we snuck up to 7 right now in the last week.
There's some saying on average because obviously that's going to depend on things like regional credit score, down payments, right, all that kind of stuff. So those will obviously change. But I think if we're using that metric overall, I think we'll be at 7. I think some areas it will be higher.
So this might sound a little bit weird because I thought we were going to be at 5.75 for the Fed funds rate, but I actually think mortgage rates will be down because of the weird connection with the 10-year Treasury. I think the 10-year is going to move before the Fed fund rates, and so I think we're going to be closer to 6.25. The 10-year is going to be down in December. Those last couple months, it's going to start ticking down. So taking the under on you guys.
Yeah, it's weird. I just pulled up the bank rate. It's interesting to see how bank rate. It literally looks. This is from the 25th, so this is today. But bank rate, and that's actually up to 7.23, which.
Hey, we need to take a quick break here because something we need to talk about that we haven't talked about. When I say a break, I'm not talking about style. I'm talking about just in our prediction.
Go to the
Oh,
bathroom.
God,
and
I can't wait for this.
No. I mean, if we're making all these predictions, we're throwing out these numbers. We need some way to score this, and we need some wagers here. So I'm going to take the action this week. I'll come back next week. We can talk about it next week, but I'm going to take the action this week to propose a way of scoring our predictions, and then some wagers that we can put in place for the winners and losers for the end of the year. Sound good?
Right, well, that's your action item. I want nothing to do with that. And Mauricio, I could tell he's not agreeing to anything today because he's so grumpy. So. All right, let's finish off some for real estate. Let's talk about commercial, some cap rates by the end of the year. Do we think cap rates are going to be where they are or not? AJ, we'll go with you first.
I think cap rates are rising. So I think they've kind of been on. I think the main reason we haven't seen cap rates rise. I mean, you got to realize. So first of all, for people to understand, like cap rates in general, where we're at, transactions, we are at 2008 level for commercial real estate. So transactions have just fallen off a cliff. And the most of the deals that we're seeing, especially in large numbers, are very coveted properties. They are premier properties. There are a lot of large portfolio, big acquisition stuff going on. We're not seeing the transaction in commercial real estate a lot down markets. And we haven't seen any real mass at all distressed buying and selling yet. So the properties that are suffering as of right now have not transacted. So the properties that have the largest spread and the investors want the least are not moving. So the average cap rates, when you look at it, predicated on what's actually taken place, you're getting a very skewed version of the market because so little transactions that are happening. The transactions that are a lot of these premier stuff. I think by the end of the year, we will have more sellers that now have to transact before the year is up. When that comes and you have sellers that need to transact and buyers have more say, you will get cap rates that will rise. And I think that those transactions happening will lift the average cap rate on sales as we move towards the end of the year.
That's fair. Mauricio, you agree?
No, that was very nice. No, that was very nicely put, AJ. I don't know if I have any other, I mean, I do think cap rates are going to continue to go up, and a lot of it, again, I go back to this, just these interest rates. I mean, there's a lot of, and again, in multifamily, which is maybe where I spend a little bit more time. I know, AJ, you're in self storage and a lot of other stuff, but like people are staring down this freight train, and it's like, if something doesn't happen, like you said, AJ, they're going to be forced to transact because it's like they're going to have to, they've got to either refinance or sell or whatever, and they're not going to be able to refinance. So anyway, you guys are way more into this than I am in terms of the cap rates, but I do believe they're going to continue to inch up a little bit. So I'm in AJ's camp on this one.
Jay, you think they're going up, or you think we've already seen the bottom?
My word of the day is stagnation. I think I'm not going to say we've hit a peak that values aren't going to drop at all from here. But I think we've substantially hit that peak, and I think from here they only go down, but I don't think it's going to be quickly.
That's fair. I agree with the stagnation, but I think we've already seen that, and I think there's a possibility that if we do see that 10-year drop at the back end of the year, we won't get the data of transactions and cap rates till next year. But I think that we will see some pickup once we have some relief in the 10-year. That there's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines, and we might see cap rates start to come down a little bit at the end of this year. But definitely, it will start moving by the beginning of next year. Into a year from now, I think we're down, a half point. So I think I said that last time as well. I don't know if I'm being consistent, but that's where I'm at. Should we move on to some other stuff? Maybe some non-real estate, like S&P 500. Maybe get into the stock market. Do we? What do we think of the stock market's going to be at, Mauricio, by the end of this year?
I don't really follow the stock market too much. I was almost going to abstain on this one, but I might as well throw. I mean, again, my prediction is there's going to be something major happening in Q4, and so when that happens, obviously the stocks are going to get crushed. It's probably one of the reasons why you'll see a Fed pivot is because you'll see the stock market going down in a disorderly fashion. The Fed doesn't mind the stock market going down, just like it doesn't mind the asset prices going down, but they want it to be in an orderly fashion. And once you get chaotic markets, that's when they freak out and stuff. So I don't know. Let's say it's down 15, 20% from where it is today.
I hope whenever we show a graph, it shows all four of our faces, so we could just see how vigorously AJ combed his beard for a solid 10 seconds.
OCD's kicking in.
Jay, where do you think the S&P is going to be?
Well, my beginning of year prediction, I think we were under 4,000, and I predicted drop halfway because I thought we were going to see a Q2, Q3 recession. I predicted a drop halfway to the bottom from the 2020 recession, so like 3150. But I don't see that happening at this point. We're at 45 and change right now. I do agree with Mauricio, though. We could see a 15% correction, 20% correction. And so I'm going to go with, what's that put us at? I'm going to just go back to 3,800.
So what I hear from financial experts right now is there's all the technical indicators that we're in a bull market right now officially. So I think that means that these financial experts are going to recommend buying, and we're going to see a run up probably to the 4,800. But then I also do think that there's going to be a few scary headlines pop out at the end of this year that we'll see maybe a 10% correction or so. So I think we're going to end in the low 4,000s, maybe 4,300. I think we're going to end the year. And then once again, beginning of next year, that's when the bottom falls out. What about Bitcoin? Anyone follow Bitcoin? What do they think Bitcoin's currently?
I don't give any predictions on the stock market. I see how it is.
Oh, I'm sorry, AJ. Did I skip you on that one?
No, that's fine.
What do you think?
4,000. The S&P's run up is largely concentrated amongst tech, and I think that it's been overdone due to AI, and I think it's given up a lot of returns, or it remade a lot of returns that it gave up, and I think it's not really backed. I think there's been a lot of people that are excited by the reduction in workforce from these tech companies that, now have to justify why Elon Musk can run Twitter on 20 employees instead of 20,000 or 200,000, and then they're trimming up fat, and everybody's really excited to see that. But I think that will be given away to more larger concerns and not really seeing fundamentals change that much. And so I think if they're going to give up almost all their gains.
You don't think Nvidia should be trading at a 2.2% cap rate?
No, probably not. I think that too. I think it's going to be a classic double top. So I think we're at the second peak, and it'll come off there, and then the market will decide if we're going to break that or if it's going to turn the other way.
If we get back down to 3,600, maybe I'll throw some money in there. All right. Sorry about that, AJ. Moving on to Bitcoin, though. I'll let you go first so I don't forget you.
Boy, I'm so excited to talk about Bitcoin. So where I think the casino will go, I think that Bitcoin will go to 20,000 because I think it will track a lot of the stock market sell-offs.
Well, historically, in the beginning of this year, and it was tracking the NASDAQ pretty well, but it's diverged a little bit in the last couple months. So, take that as you will. Jay, do you agree? You think it's going down, or you think it's sneaking back up?
Yeah, we're just over 29,000 as of today for those who are watching this. And I think, like AJ, I suspect that we're pretty highly correlated with the public markets right now. So if I am predicting that the stock market's going to drop 15 to 20%, I think it's reasonable to predict that the crypto market and Bitcoin is going to drop 15 to 20%. So if we're at like 3,000 now, what's that? 15% of that, 4,500. So put it down at 25,000.
It's been pretty range bound, 25 to 35 for a while now. So that's a pretty safe bet. Mauricio, what do you think?
Dude, I did a video the other day on XRP, and I got the wrath of the crypto community, which was kind of like my first experience of the crypto haters popping out. But look, I'm bullish. Just for the haters out there, I'm bullish Bitcoin in the long term, but I think in the short term, I think we are, again, timing wise, I hate timing wise, but I think we are going to test those lows from November, which is down to 15,000, and it might even go a little bit lower. So if we're doing an over under, it's definitely going to be below 20. But I think they're going to test those lows that we. But again, that's whenever this happens. I'm going with this Q4, but if I switch it over to Kyle's number, that might be Q1. But we're definitely going down there before we go any higher. That's my prediction. You'll get down to sub 20 before you get to sub above 50 or 60.
I guess if you guys are all going low, I got to disagree. Then I think it's going to go up. If you look at it, has been tracking the NASDAQ, but it's been a bit of a lagger. And every time the NASDAQ has a run like this, then Bitcoin follows it eventually. It hasn't followed it yet, so I think it's going to follow the NASDAQ up. It's probably going to hit 40. And it might, with a little softness at the end of the year, it might come down a little bit, but I think it's going to be somewhere between 35 and 40 by the end of the year.
Just so you guys know, there is a massive wall at about 32, 35. I mean, there's just the amount of selling pressure up there is obscene when you look at the charts. But yeah, maybe we'll break through it and we'll get there.
Yeah, we've been pretty range bound, as I said, which is good, I think, for Bitcoin. The biggest downside a lot of people have thought is Bitcoin is the volatility, the fact that it's hung around at that 30,000 for a while, hasn't really gone below 25,000. I think is a really good thing for Bitcoin in general. So hopefully we see that stick. All right, let's get a little controversial here. Let's go politics. Who do we think the nominees are going to be? We might see some more clear-cut nominees by the end of this year. So who do we think the Republican and Democrat nominees will be for the election next year? Jay, why don't we start with you?
Really? You want to start with me? Okay.
Well, you're a safe bet. I never know what AJ and Mauricio are going to say, so you're going to be very politically correct.
No, I will be. So yeah, but I mean, I'll give my opinion. So I personally think anybody that's currently in the race should drop out and go away forever, and we should get some fresh blood in there that is a lot more centrist. But that's probably not going to happen. So Obviously, the two front runners are Trump and Biden again. I think no reason to believe that Trump's position as the front runner is in jeopardy anytime soon, though it is really early. So I'm going to go with Trump on the Republican ticket. Though if I had to pick a second place there, I think actually Tim Scott is well positioned to make a run as well if something were to happen with Trump. So I'll put him as my number 2. Biden has indicated that he's going to run again. That's disappointing, and I wish he wouldn't. And on the Democratic side, love to see Pete Buttigieg run. I mean, I think he's a lot more centrist than a lot of the Democratic candidates, and also a good bit younger. And if it weren't him, again, I would love to see somebody that we've never thought of before kind of show up and take over. So I don't know. I'm going to go with I'll take the outliers: Tim Scott and Pete Buttigieg.
That's fair. Let's go with Mauricio. I want to finish with AJ.
Don't forget AJ. I am going to go with Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis.
Ooh.
It's not that I actually would have agreed with you a few months ago. No reasons. You're just going to throw it out there.
Well, maybe I just thought this might be one of my later predictions, so maybe I'll keep it to myself. But no, I don't know. I've just been reading a lot lately, especially on the Democratic side. There seems to be a turn, and especially with the media coverage of Biden. Like it used to be, like Biden can do whatever he wants and fall over here and there, and nobody cared, nobody do anything. And lately, the major networks have been kind of giving him a hard time. So anyway, I think it's going to be. I think Biden's going to. That's a prediction. I think he's going to step aside, and Gavin Newsom's already kind of positioning himself, and he's kind of playing nice, and he's kind of just waiting for a bow wow, and he'll sneak in there.
So you think DeSantis has a real shot? He's struggling these days.
I know he is, but once Trump's out of the picture, then he'll come up.
Okay,
that's fair. In the power rankings, Newsom's pretty far down there for the candidates, so that's a bold prediction. AJ, what do you think?
I think I agree. I think Biden will bow out. I think the Democratic Party has a real big problem where not even the news media outlets can ignore this stuff anymore, and that's getting worse. His old man outbursts at people and things like that are getting worse. And you already had a candidate that was not very favorable. He was elected as an opposition of Trump. And if you put really decent candidates up against him, I think the Republican Party or the Democratic Party should know that that's not a winning strategy. And I think that if we do go into a recession like we're talking about, it's that much worse. Now, I think a nightmare scenario is Trump and Biden over again. I think that's a nightmare for the whole entire country. Amen. Yeah. And so I really hope that neither one of them make it. I think that.
So who do you think it will be then?
So I think Biden's going to stick around. I wish he wouldn't, but I think he is.
You could say who you hope for if you want to.
So I don't hope for any of them. Holy cow! I mean, we're really early in this to really be looking at this. If you
I don't know the libertarians. You say you're libertarian. Libertarians are jumping on RFK a little bit.
I mean, RFK's. I think he's well thought out, and I think he's not holding to party lines, which that's nice. It's nice to see somebody that will actually have their own opinions and diverge from party lines on both sides. So I actually have liked that a lot about RFK, a lot. And I think he's got a lot of support from more centrist type people, but he will not be, his party won't put him up. His party's actively fighting him, and so's the institutions right now. So I think that Trump, we're just going to say he's gone, and that he won't get actually elected, or he won't get put up there. And then I think Biden will stick in. And I think, honestly, we're probably going to be with DeSantis and Biden.
What do you think of the odds of a third? Sorry, I know, Kyle, you're coming up of a third. They're making up a third party, whether it's Trump or whether it's Kennedy, and we're assuming two
See,
parties.
I think that's why Trump's going to be the candidate. I don't like. Yes, there's the legal situation, but Trump's got enough money. We know how the legal system works, and it takes a while for things to work their way through the legal system. And I don't think the Republican Party can risk not going with Trump as long as he's an option, just because he does have that kind of nuclear option where he's just going to say, "Hey, I'll go third party then, and if you're not going to put me up as the candidate," and he'll just tank the Republican Party then, because he'll split the vote in half. So I just don't see a scenario where we don't have Trump versus Biden. I think the only reason Biden's sticking around is because the Democratic Party thinks Biden will beat Trump. I think he's the only person that Biden could beat. So if we don't see Trump, we will see a mix up. And I like Jay's pick of Buttigieg. I never even know how to pronounce his name. Actually, I don't mind Newsom. He's, those California guys, though, they got some crazy ideas. But
you want the U.S. to be more like California? Is that what you want?
But I guess I don't know who I want to pick. I don't know who I want to pick, because I want Republicans in there, because I think we need to get spending under control. Now, historically in the last few Republicans, they haven't kept spending under control, but at the same time, I think we need some immigration reform, which is kind of more Democrats. So yeah, I would love to see I think it's going to be Biden Trump, but if I want to pick, I would say Buttigieg and Nikki Haley.
Ooh.
I'd love to see Nikki Haley in there. I don't think we ever see a woman president from the Democrat side. I just think it's too much of an uphill battle. I don't think Republicans are going to vote for a female Democrat. And I got a couple daughters. I'd love to get a woman president in there.
Yeah, what's that joke? By the way, you mentioned the spending thing. The joke that's kind of true now. What's the difference? Democrats like to tax and spend, and Republicans like to not tax and spend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if we are ended up with Trump and Biden, I think Trump will win.
Really?
He's a 2-point dog right now. I saw some poll just up there. He's a 2-point. Biden's a 2-point favored right now on the polls, but not that means anything.
Yeah, and Hillary was a clear winner, and I think that's the problem that you get. I think there was such backlash through COVID and the whole everything that we were going through, and there was this idea that everybody thought just get rid of Trump and everything will be good. And
I don't know. Can he claim he built the wall though? That's he did make a lot of claims that didn't come true. So
he can claim anything he wants. That's not like, I mean, that guy just claims whatever.
Mexico just contributed $1.5 billion to the U.S. to build technology to get immigration under control. So maybe Biden gets credit for getting Mexico to pay for not quite the wall, but
that's fair.
All I know is that if this weren't so impactful to all of our lives, I would probably very much enjoy this campaign season. I think it's going to be quite the show, kind of like professional wrestling.
Well, worst case scenario, I could take my family and pack up and move to Canada for 4 years.
But then you'd have to be under crazy lunatic. What's his name?
That's true, but at least everyone's nice.
Castro's kid.
All right, this podcast. How many subscribers do we think we're going to have? December, 1 million, 2 million.
December.
How many YouTube subscribers? Let's start with that. Right now we have.
Wait, are we talking subscribers or downloads?
Both.
YouTube subscribers.
Okay. The big one is YouTube subscribers. We've got 325 today.
So Jay, what do you think?
Well, I have a little wager with my 12-year-old son who has a YouTube channel and puts up a lot of shorts of puppy dogs and video games, and he's crushing me. And so I need to beat him by the end of the year. I think he's up to like 800 or something. So I'm going to go with let's shoot for 1,500.
That's fair.
1,500 subscribers.
YouTube subscribers.
1,500. I think over 10,000.
Oh, sweet.
Nice. AJ. That's awesome. That's because AJ's taking over.
We better put a little money into marketing then. Let's.
You better start promoting the show, AJ.
Right.
Well, that's why he thinks we're going to be there. He's gonna turn on his marketing machine finally.
Exactly. Cutting up clips, and we'll start getting this stuff out.
Dedicate 3 or 4 of your assistants to this task.
Mauricio, what do you think?
We're on track to be at like 750. So I'm going to go with 750.
No.
I'll go a little bit higher than that. I know it does take a while for some traction, but we're going to go viral one of these times, and we're going to boost up. And I'll go a little bit above Jay. I think we got 2,000 in us.
Dude, we already went viral. One of your videos did like 2,000 views in 5 minutes at one time.
Oh well.
It's all about the shorts. If you're still hanging out, listen to the shorts.
Imagine if we had some women on this show, what would we do?
Do a lot better.
All right, I got a fun one. Anybody have a crazy prediction they want to throw out that'll happen sometime in the next 6 months? Jay, you got something crazy that you think will happen?
Well, I know we made this. We did this prediction on our show back in January. What my weight was going to be come the end of the year. So just to give a recap and an update. So at the time I was like 207 or something, and I predicted something like 190. You put me at like maybe I predicted 185. You put me at 190. I'm just under 200 right now. So I am trending down. So I still like my 190 number there. That's what I'm shooting for. Big prediction. I have to think about it. Mauricio, what do you have?
Here's again, end of the year. I don't know, but I just read a stat yesterday, or not yesterday, last week. And it said that after indictment, federal conviction rate is over 95%.
98.
In fact, I saw another one. Another Pew Research says federal prosecutors have a conviction rate of 99.6%, according to date. So I think Trump, that's my prediction. Trump's going to, whether he gets convicted or there's some settlement, but there's something that's going to cause him to have to drop out of the race. That's my kind of crazy out there, prediction.
I think you have everybody trying to make that happen.
Yeah, the feds don't throw out indictments like like the New York General, Attorney General, whatever. I mean, when they do their research, they do their stuff, and when they come out with an indictment, it's.
Yeah, but they never had 40% of the country against them on something.
Yeah, but we'll see. Anyway, I think that's kind of my out there prediction.
Along with that, I predict that there's going to be some Republican candidate that steps up and runs on a campaign of pardoning Trump, and Trump's going to put all his weight behind that candidate.
Ooh,
I like that.
A Trump buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think Trump won't even care. Even if he's indicted, he'll be like, I'm still going.
I think so too. AJ, you got something crazy for us?
Yeah, I really do think we're going to get in. The Senate has really spoken out. We've seen a lot of stuff coming out where they're like, we need to release all these documents on they.
Are you going aliens?
Yeah, I'm talking aliens. They don't.
Yes.
They don't call them UFOs though now. They gave them a new name, but they have like all these people hired that are supposed to be going through all these documents and everything. And
It's aerial something, right?
Yeah, they changed it so it's not like that. But they started releasing them, and there's been this huge push for them.
Unidentified aerial phenomena. Sorry, AJ.
That's the ticket. So I believe by the end of the year, we're going to get this huge dump of documents that is going to start everything from just mass conspiracy theories. But I think we're going to find out a lot of stuff that the government's been looking at that they can't explain or know. I don't know that they'll have any definitive answers, but I think it's going to be some pretty, I think we're going to learn a lot of really cool things that the government has seen or observed that they don't have answers to. And I think that's going to be cool.
Fair enough. All right, Jay, do you want to update your prediction, or was that your piggyback?
I'll let you go first.
So my first prediction is obviously the Eagles will be in first place by December. And then
They still have a football team?
Yeah, they went to the Super Bowl last year. How did the 49ers do? Oh wait, they lost to the Eagles. Just throwing that out there. We broke 2 of your quarterbacks if you were watching the game. Next,
How did you know football still existed?
It's only the number 1 sport in the country. Next, I think that we are going to have some massive AI scandal. We are going to have something happen, AI-based phishing attack or AI-based something nefarious is going to happen with AI. That's going to be an emergency meeting in the U.S. about how we're going to handle all this AI. Thousands of people are going to be affected, lose money or something, and it's going to blow up into a huge thing. So that's I think that we're going to see that happen before the end of the year.
Yeah, I maybe it was in one of the other podcasts I listened to. That's the biggest concern, right? The phishing, like, because they can get into your they can start sending out all emails and get you to click on a link, and then it's the passwords, and it's like they'll be able to just send out thousands and thousands of emails and be able to like crack.
There's just so many scenarios. Like I saw one the other day where they gave an AI a budget and some money and to complete a series of tasks, and it went so far as it hired someone on like Upwork to beat the CAPTCHA for it. So like the whole like I am not a robot, like it figured out how to beat that by adding a human element. So it's a little bit scary. We have to toe that line between, we don't want to be left behind as a country AI wise, but it is a little bit scary. So I think there's something's going to happen. It's going to force an emergency actions.
I think we're learning a lot more. And I think one of the things that for me, I agree, but I also think that now people are a lot more opened up to what's been going on with these huge fund managers, right? And how BlackRock got so big, because BlackRock instituted AI with their Aladdin product a long time ago, 2015. And that AI product, Aladdin, like killed it. I mean, blew away everything. And the government's using it. It has a large AI product that it's currently using. And I think we're still seeing the tip of the iceberg on what actually exists with AI. The consumer front we're seeing, and even that stuff, there's a lot of scary stuff going on. And I think you're right, Kyle. I think we're going to find out about a lot more stuff. In fact, things that probably AI has either done or caused, whether that's blackouts or whether that's other stuff that
UFOs.
Like hey, that's a good one. But I think there's going to be revelations about that, or something bad's going to happen a lot that'll change the context and how we think about AI.
Well, that sounds like a full topic we could discuss at a future episode there, if we get into it enough. Hey, Jay.
Could we do a future episode where there's like 4 of us AI and just do the podcast?
Just to I mean, if we feed enough of our previous episodes in, I think it learns our personalities.
But didn't they do that with Joe Rogan and Trump? Didn't Joe Rogan interview Trump with just AI generated?
Have you listened to that?
Huh? Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. That's
but those are two, like, since they're such public figures, there's enough things that you could feed the AI that it could replicate it pretty well.
I have enough podcasts.
These guys have more YouTube videos than you and I ever know what to do. There's plenty of maybe Kyle, you need to like spend a week just talking into
Yeah, I don't know if I want enough out there that I can be recreated for. That's just one step away from cloning me.
Mauricio brought that's a really good thing that everybody should go listen to. Go listen to the podcast of Joe Rogan interviewing Trump. It's all AI, but it's an interview. It's pretty crazy.
It's awesome.
That's fair. Jay, you had enough time. Give me something.
Okay. I've been hesitating on this one, but
which is crazy because you're the one who suggested this bit. You're the one who suggested that we do a crazy prediction, and then you didn't have anything for us.
Well, I did, and I've had the same one, but it's I think it's really unlikely, but I'm going to throw it out there. So Elon Musk will sell off one of his big companies, whether it's SpaceX, Tesla, Twitter, the Boring Company, before the end of the year.
You can't count the Boring Company. I don't even know if that's like a real thing anymore.
It totally is a real thing.
It's a real thing.
They just got a big contract across Europe.
Fair, but like you can't count that as him selling one of his big companies. That wouldn't be news.
I think that would be news.
Twitter, SpaceX, Tesla.
It would be something in the 10 billion plus range.
Okay, that's fair. Is it going to Apple? Is Apple buying it?
The Boring Company seems unlikely.
Apple could buy Tesla.
Apple could buy Tesla.
That
Absolutely.
Would be crazy.
I mean, they should have got in back when Tesla was what, 120? That would have been a great purchase for them. But
Yep, they tried, or they were offered.
yeah, well, never took the meeting, right?
AJ, by the way, I just saw that the AI. There's a whole channel on it. They've interviewed. They've done it with like Andrew Tate. They've done it with Drake. They've done it with The Rock. Dwayne Johnson's the latest one. It's crazy, man. I haven't looked how good it's gotten since the.
Can we
two,
even say the name Andrew Tate on our channel, or is that going to get us blocked on YouTube?
Dude, it's gonna make us go viral. Are you kidding me?
Everything will get us blocked on YouTube.
You can't even use the C word for otherwise you get flagged.
Which
I have no idea
what are you thinking
what
of?
you're talking about.
I don't want to say it, but it's the virus that we just had going there.
Oh, okay. Because I can think of a lot of C words
Yeah, I
that,
know.
that would
There's a lot of
probably
C
get us
words
in
that-
trouble.
That's all I got. Unless somebody else has any other predictions what they want to make. Do we want to move on to a fun little game to finish this off?
Yeah, let's go on a game here.
All right. So we hit on cryptocurrency there for a little bit. So the game that I'm playing is I'm going to list some names, and you got to tell me whether it's a real cryptocurrency or I just made it up. All right. You ready?
Yep.
All right.
We're going to start with Crypto Kitties.
Yes,
Real.
That's legit. I know that's a
it
fact.
is.
Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. That was an NFT project, but I think technically it's a token. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
a cryptocurrency, but it's a token for sure.
it's a token.
It is not a cryptocurrency. It is a game that is based on blockchain, and you can make Ethereum off of playing the game.
So, that is a tricky.
but it's a token. But it is a
Slide
token. Anyway.
Okay,
All
what about Grumpy Cat? Everyone knows Grumpy Cat. Is there a cryptocurrency based on Grumpy Cat?
Yeah, they have to tokenize that. I mean,
I have no idea who Grumpy Cat is. Is that anything
Come on.
similar to Grumpy Mauricio or just?
way cuter.
I'm gonna say
Grumpy Cat.
I'm gonna say no.
Yes.
No, I'm gonna say no too.
Grumpy Cat is Grumpy Coin, cryptocurrency.
Money. That I am awarded 10 grumpy coins.
The next one was Dogecoin, so obviously everyone knows Dogecoin is because of Elon Musk. What about Pepe the Frog? Is there a Pepe the Frog cryptocurrency?
No.
There shouldn't be. No.
It's definitely again. I want to make sure we don't get attacked by the crypto community. There is a difference between a cryptocurrency and a token. So we're playing fast and loose with the terminology.
Yeah, we're yeah.
But so no, there's definitely not a cryptocurrency, but I think there is a token on it.
Pepe Cash, cryptocurrency. All right, next let's go with Homer Simpson. Is there a cryptocurrency based on Homer Simpson?
I've been wrong on every one before, so I'm going to go against my instinct on this one and say yes, there is.
No.
No.
There is not. There is not a Homer Simpson. Okay, what about Kanye West? Is there a Kanye West cryptocurrency?
I'm going to go against my. So I'm going to go with my gut because it's a double negative because I've been wrong on every one. I'm going to say no, there is not.
Yeah, I think there is.
They're 100%
I'm going to
in.
take
They're
whatever
100%
Jay
in.
says.
Jay, you've been wrong every single time. Kanye is a cryptocurrency.
Guys, I have found a great investing strategy.
All right, let's finish this off with Donald Trump. Is there a Donald Trump cryptocurrency?
No doubt.
No chance. He'd sue the pants out of him. That thing is so protected. There's no way.
Nope.
He probably owns it.
No, unless he owns it himself. Which
He does
may
not
have.
own a cryptocurrency, but there is a cryptocurrency called
Oh!
Trump Coin.
Jay got one. Jay got one.
We'll finish it off.
Finish it for a win for Jay.
We'll finish it with a win for Jay. So that's a little bit of fun for it. I know there's some much crazier
Wait,
name
wait,
ones.
wait. Trump family threatens legal action over Trump coin.
Well, the thing was, I think it was created by his fans, though. So that's I don't know if he wants. He's all about not rocking the boat with his fans. He wouldn't even denounce the Proud Boys officially. So, yeah, I don't see him suing Trump coin.
He is suing them for $10 million in Trump coin.
He just wants to own the majority of it. Fair enough. All right, let's go around the horde. Mauricio, you got anything you want to plug this week?
I need to sleep. That's what I'm plugging. No, we're doing Real Estate Syndicated Live. We're doing it on the live stream every Wednesday at 4:30. By the time this comes out, I think maybe Jay, you're going to be our next guest on which is on the 2nd, right? That's the next. Yeah. So Jay Scott.
I will say, so we're not introducing disinformation here. Trump actually did completely condemn outright the Proud Boys. He came out and said, I condemn all racist groups, including the Proud Boys. So just want to make sure that's clear. Don't want disinformation there. People get mad at us.
Fair enough. Okay.
He's from racist groups.
Fair enough. All right, Jay, what do you want to plug? Does that count as AJ's plug there, or
that can be my plug? I just know we're going to get slammed in the comments. People are going to be like, "Yes, he did." We're going to have a fight. So
I'm just referring to the debate where they asked them to condemn them, and he said stand by and stand down or something. So I apologize if I don't have my facts right. Jay, what do you got for us?
Your alternative facts. Okay, so number one, I'm going to plug this show. We need to get to 1,500 or 2,000 YouTube subscribers. So even if you listen to it on a podcast, go jump on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Next, I've gone through like this whole bottle of Prosecco. I'm a little buzzed
You're feeling
right
bubbly.
now. I am. I will be on Real Estate Syndicator Live, brought to you by this guy named Mauricio Raoul, next Wednesday, August 2nd, 100th episode, I believe. So
not 100 episode.
is there some occasion?
Episode.
Like episode 65 or something.
I thought this was some special occasion.
Oh, he's gonna
you're on there, Jay.
He's gonna cancel his appearance now.
You're gonna cancel me live on this podcast, and
He's like, he's going to wait till the 100th episode.
Oh, so I'm just you picked me for some random episode. Okay, fine. And then
wait. For the record, we have Jay every 6 months to do economic macro update. So he's going to be giving us the lay of the land on macro.
Sweet. That's what I'm going to be doing. And then
Which he obviously has to prepare because it's going to be tomorrow.
I'm not preparing because I am in about 8 hours getting on an airplane to head out for my 15th wedding anniversary vacation for a week. So, Mauricio, if I don't show up, I didn't come back from vacation.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a change. Jay's plugging his wife tonight. So I'm going to, I have never been invited to be a guest on Mauricio's show. I have been a guest on AJ's show, so I'm not going to plug Mauricio. But I am going to go with my wife again. Follow Bad Ash Investor. I'm going to go with YouTube. Go to her YouTube. She's been working real hard on the shorts. I did some recordings for her. So go check out Bad Ash Investor. All right. So we're getting to the end here.
Wait a second. Let's let AJ plug something. Go for it, AJ.
All right, AJ. Plug something other than Trump here.
What beard conditioning product are you going to plug?
Yeah, Mauricio, I thought that was going to be your bold prediction that AJ was going to shave his beard.
I thought about that. But then,
that's a really bad prediction, Mauricio. Like, that was really bad.
Little do you know, AJ's got a butt chin under there, so he'll never shave it.
Baby face. I can't do that. So I do have something cool. It's not really cool, but 2 years ago, I wrote this huge thing on the self-storage bubble. And I have I have Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal just came out with an article on because it's the largest drop in rate self-storage had ever seen. And so I got Bloomberg's interviewing me to talk about this thing that I wrote up 2 years ago when everything was good about it. And everything. So I thought that was kind of cool, and I like to share that with guys.
So where can we find that? Where can we check it out?
So I have it on I wrote it on a few places. I have it on my Twitter account on the actual self-storage bubble, but we actually put out a newsletter now where we're going over different economic inputs. And as of tomorrow, I'm not sure when people hear this, but we're doing the complete update of it, and it's coming out to show where the industry's at and where it's headed. But yeah, we launched our fund 2 to take advantage of everything that was going on, and we've already got 4 properties under replacement cost, seller financing. So yeah, I was really proud of my company though and everything else because we stuck by what we knew. We refinanced our whole entire portfolio. We pulled tons of cash out, and this was at a time when everything was booming. And we're like, we're sticking by the data, we're sticking by the facts. We left all the markets that we said were overdone. Yeah, really proud of the whole team and everybody of that investment thesis and how we stuck by it and rode it, even when that was a very unpopular stance to
So
take.
AJ, you said your media team was going to get their tentacles into our YouTube. Why don't you get them to post a link to that article, or all of these plugs? Post a link to all of these plugs, so people can check out your
Have we
article.
not been doing that? Okay, everybody, our commitment's to step up our game. We're going to step up our media game, everybody. We promise.
Well, we got to get to 10,000, right?
That's right.
Send me a link to that article. I'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Well, my drink is gone. I don't know about anybody else. I could use a little trip to the head. When are we recording next week? Are we doing Tuesday, Thursday?
We're doing Thursday.
Thursday. Well, I will see you next Thursday then.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye. Thanks for sticking around, AJ. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.